This is Ron and Pat, just digging life. This weekend we're at Golden Hill, New York State Park Campground. This campground is located right next to 30 Mile Point Lighthouse. Beautiful sunrises and sunsets on amazing Lake Ontario. Come with us and find out some more. Golden Hill has a lovely little museum. It's called the Lighthouse Visitor Center, and hopefully that will be open later and I can show you a little bit of the exhibits inside. And if I remember correctly, there's also a book lending library in there as well. There is no entry to the water in and around the lighthouse. However, if you take one of the trails down past this camping loop, past the yurts, there is a beautiful trail and quite a bit of history on that trail too. Used to be an Indian hunting ground. And later I will show you through those trees the brand new restrooms, which are really nice. $30 Mile Point Lighthouse also has accommodations, so be sure to check out their website to find out more about staying in a lighthouse on Lake Ontario. Yes, these sites are fairly close together, and some may be more level than others, but you do have the advantage of the overlook right in front of Lake Ontario. The campground road does run between these sites and the overlook, however. And at night, yes, you can see Toronto. It's just over there. You can see the lights. Hopefully someday we'll be able to go back there after COVID. Right, here at Golden Hill, we are on site number 50. The sites to the right of the loop here are all waterfront sites. There are water spigots every 30 feet or so. We have spigots on either side of our site, and we are hooked up. They don't advertise their sites as being water sites, but it's a nice little piece of information to know. Last campground we stayed in, there was one water spigot for the whole loop. So, alright, so I booked this 8 or 9 months ago. And yes, I did look at the Camp ADK photos. And what I didn't notice in the photos is that there's quite a bit of brush. We don't have a clear view of the water as a lot of the other sites do. So keep that in mind when looking at the Camp ADK photos. A lot of them were taken in off-season in winter when the trees don't have their leaves. Other than that, most of the sites in this loop are pretty spacious. We've got a really wide site. So, really happy about that. And I guess if we look and peek through the trees, we can get our view of Toronto. Wanted to show you the eastern edge of the campground. These are the campsites to the east of the lighthouse. They're fairly open, but you do have a great view of Lake Ontario. And behind them are the yurts. And behind me is the new restroom that I want to show you. Golden Hill has 2 restroom buildings. This is the new one, and it's quite nice. I really love the pictures of the lighthouse through the years. Sorry, my camera doesn't seem to want to focus too well, but you get the idea. Okay, it is Friday afternoon. Everyone's cleared out, so I want to get some shots of some of our favorite sites. We're at site 50, 49. This one we stayed at last year. It was perfect for our Class C because you just back in and you're kind of sideways to the road. This is site number 48. It's a little on the small side, but really beautiful view. Whereas we have a lot of trees at our site, we don't get as clear of a view of the water. And then I think this one is my favorite. It's the last one on the western end of the campground. Site number 45. Take you guys down there. Let's see if there's any water access. I doubt it. But I really love this site. Don't see a water spigot near this site though. And this is what we call the Lake Ontario erosion. There might have been access at one time, but sadly we've had a lot of high water over the past couple of years. The center of the campground features a treed picnic area right next to the playground. The lighthouse is behind me. The waterfront sites are to the right. Loop C is directly ahead. So there's plenty of space here to relax and enjoy. And off behind Loop C, towards the entrance, is a large field for baseball games. There's a basketball net. And quirk of note here, there are a few of these shelters scattered throughout the sites. So if you're lucky enough to nab a campsite with its own shelter, good for you. As far as I know, they don't charge extra. You will see them on the campground map, so take note of that. Really great if you're having a camping trip that includes family and friends. It's a great little place to gather for dinner. I did mention a trail here at Golden Hill. It does lead down to the water. I believe it has at least 2 loops. Very wooded. And right next to the entrance to the trail is a really nice shaded campsite, waterfront. We'll be sure to note the number of this site. Just want to conclude this video with some final bits of information about Golden Hill and 30 Mile Point Lighthouse. The little museum was not open yesterday, probably because of COVID, but if you do stay here, hopefully you'll get to check that out. A lot of lovely sights here. Where else can you say you're at a campground right next to a lighthouse? There is a single dump station here, and it does appear to be on level ground. We've been to several campgrounds now where the dump station was not on level ground, and you never felt like you were able to empty the tank completely. Also to be aware of, those of you that camp while also working in your RV, the cell service here is very spotty, very intermittent, especially down by the area that surrounds the yurts. Again, there's a lovely trail here, beautiful lighthouse to climb, and we really enjoyed our stay here. We did have a problem with one camper that had a loose dog that actually came up and charged me as I was just standing nearby. So be sure to keep your pets leashed when you camp. Most campgrounds do have a leash rule, along with local laws that require your pets to be on a leash. Never assume that you can 100% predict what your dog is going to do. Just be a good camper and respect others.